Hello, it's me again. Some more uh, burial on Humpty Dumpty. Yep, that's right. More on Starfaker. Humpty Dumpty. Yeah, that's your new nickname. Uh, when you decide to quit your criminal activities, just let your local police department know that you quit, decided that you're going to quit scamming people out of their hard work earnings, and just stay, sitting down. You know, you, you, you sit down, okay? Yes, just sit down. You sit down, okay? Sit down and do whatever you do. Play with your doggies if they're still around, if they're still there. I gotta hope they're okay too, because if they're not, then you're gonna have another charge added onto your criminal record, animal abuse, which is a felony, I believe now, right, in the United States. Hope they're doing okay, both of them. You better give them decent homes too. Better not give them to one of your little, criminal friends in your little criminal enterprise. You know, Starfaker Enterprise, whatever. Yeah, Humpty Dumpty, probably, when he's not doing his podcast, he's probably out looking for fresh victims to scam. Probably coming up with new ways to f with people's money. So I don't want to cuss on this platform. I try not to. But yeah, he's looking for other ways, new ways to smart, genius ways to scam people. And plus, now that he knows that I'm doing videos on him, and he knows that I'm getting the message out, he's probably going to come up with new ideas to try to come up with different ways to take people's money without them knowing it. He isn't stupid. He's very convincing. And that's what makes him a genius, like Lex Luthor type stuff, except for he ain't bald. And he doesn't wear a nice suit, Armani suit. He has a corporation. What he has is a shitty house. Well, apartment building. Oh, it's a house that was converted, building was converted into an apartment building. He probably treats his tenants like garbage. So, maybe they'll come for it too after he gets arrested. Knock, knock, knock. FBI, open up. Yeah, that's what next thing you're going to hear. Yeah, just stay sitting down. Okay? Don't stand up. Sit down. Okay? Because, all the criminal crimes that you've done and all the things that you've said about people, not just people in the business, but outside of it as well. Good people, by the way. Lives you've ruined. You know what I'm saying? And you just lie, man. You're a habitual liar, man. Jesus. I mean, oh my God, man. You're an atheist too, right? You don't believe in God? Well, yeah. If he is real, boy, you got a judgment day coming your way. Eternal damnation. Yeah. You're one Humpty Dumpty about to fall out your chair and break and shatter into pieces. Hope you realize that your lies are catching up to you. You hear me, Humpty Dumpty? Stop with the BS. Because that was genius idea you came up with, BS. Not bowling services, but, the other BS. The swear version, which is what you are. And then I just know that there was a few people in the business that wanted to hurt you bad. Bob Holly was one. I think you owed him money or something, or you ripped him off or something. I'm not for sure. And then Brock Lesnar wanted to break your neck. You had Sylvester Takai and Rico Constantino. You had backup. You had always have had protection from Jim Cornette being one of your biggest protectors in OVW. You know, because you just had have enemies and you had protection in the business. Well, you don't have protection no more. You don't have Sylvester Takai. You don't have Rico. Well, you do have Rico, but he's not going to be able to. I guarantee he's not going to fly half a mile across the country to come save you. Yeah, he lives in Nevada, so why would he come fly? I mean, I'm not saying he wouldn't, but it's just a complete waste of time for him to do that. I mean, but Sylvester Takai, I don't even know what happened to him, but he was a very talented wrestler and MMA fighter. He was a legit bad boy. Yes, but if Brock Lesnar decided to rip your head off, he wouldn't be able to save you now. Brock would kill Sylvester Takai now. I guarantee you. I mean, Sylvester Takai may be bigger, but Sylvester Takai may be taller, he may be bigger, I don't know, but when he did Universal Soldier of the Return, he was big. And Goldberg, that was a good fight. But, yeah, let's just say, for instance, that Brock Lesnar does still have a grudge against you, or someone else that you ticked off. Bob Holly probably still wants a piece of you, of Humpty Dumpty. I'm sure there's quite a few. I'll get more information on that. Who really can't stand you? Who wanted to rip your head off? As many of these wrestlers you talk crap about, like in OVW, you've told me you didn't like certain wrestlers. They were because you said they had attitudes. I wonder why. I wonder why you didn't like them, because they didn't like you. Because they knew who you really were. Guys like Trailer Park Trash. Who was the guy? Was it Seven? There was a couple other guys. Randy Orton, Batista. Oh man, there's others that you've talked crap about. CM Punk was probably one. There's been 100. There's others you just couldn't stand. Randy Savage. I'm sure you didn't like him. I bet there's a reason behind you with why he didn't like you. There's a bunch, I'm sure, that you've had issues with. Probably because they knew you for who you truly are. And they do that, and you hated that. So, what we need to do is get your sister. Yeah. You need to contact your sister. She knows a lot more. She's got plenty of dirt on you. And she's already spilled quite a bit of it. So, yeah. You even got relatives, family who don't like you. That want nothing to do with you. People hate Humpty Dumpty. You're a fraud, you're a phony, and a fake. Karma's coming to collect. I remember Ultimate Warrior said that about Hogan in one of his YouTube videos. Karma is coming to collect. If he was still alive, he'd maybe have him do a burial on you like he did Hogan. Rest in peace, the Warrior. I mean, he may not have been the baddest. He may not be the baddest dude in the business, but dang, he sure knew how to cut a burial on people. He really did. He was talented in that, but there are a lot of guys in the business that weren't as talented. But in my opinion, the greatest worker in the business is Shawn Michaels. I agree with Ric Flair. It's definitely HBK. He's definitely the greatest worker, if not the best, as far as being in the ring. The greatest high flyer ever is probably Jeff Hardy. The greatest technical wrestler of all time, without a doubt, was definitely, I'd have to say my opinion, personal opinion, is Owen Hart. Technical. Luchadora would have to be either Eddie Guerrero or Rey Mysterio Jr. or just Rey Mysterio. But in Japanese wrestling, nobody can do it like Ultimo Dragon or what's the other guy? Uh, uh, Chono, big guy, was it WCW? Masaro Chono. I can't pronounce his first name, but Chono. I think that's how you pronounce it. He works at Japan. One of the greatest Japanese workers has had to be one of those two. There's Paul. Oh, there's not forget Justin Thunder Liger. I think he's one of the best too Japanese wrestlers. As far as Samoans go, it's going to have to be Jimmy Superfly all the way. High flying, everything. He did everything. Superfly, Snuka, the baddest of them all in the business. Badder than even Brock Lesnar, even he or any of the bad dudes in the business. Bad News Brown would have to be Haku, Ming. I mean, who's going to mess with that dude? Nobody. Not even Mike Tyson. Not even the greatest MMA fighter. I mean, the stories behind that dude are legendary, and I believe them 100% that they're legit, but over exaggerated. But I believe they're facts. Like, he's a scary dude. Well, then you got New Jack, my late friend, who Bolin also crapped on. He disrespected New Jack. And if New Jack was alive, I spoke to him on Facebook and Instagram. If he was alive, I would have told him what you were saying about him. So, yeah, you're lucky on that one. But yeah, I'm good friend. I speak to it. I speak to his wife. But there's people that Bolin does not like. And my friend New Jack was a good guy. I don't know what your history is with him, but he probably knew who you really are too. He probably knew you were a bad person. New Jack, you knew not to mess with him though, didn't you? You knew better, because you knew New Jack would have done some pretty bloody stuff to you. You knew not to mess with Brock Lesnar. You knew not to mess with Bob Holly. You knew not to mess with people, but you do other things to get around without. You would wait until you'd be a coward, and you would go behind the back to do something, and then they'd find out about it, and they want to tear your head off. When Brock Lesnar confronted you, and he put his hands on you, I bet you were pissing yourself, weren't you? He put his hands on you. And your son, Catbox, had to go get Sylvester Terkay. And if Brock had wanted to, he would have ripped Terkay's head off and then ripped your head off if he had wanted to. But he didn't, because he knew that there would have been a problem. And then he would have just beat down Rico. Rico's a Kempo black belt, but he can't beat Brock. I mean, Brock's too big. He might be able to get a few good shots off, but I mean, come on. Brock's just a monster. And plus, he had people like Bob Holly would help him, and Batista, guys that Randy Orton. It would have been the haters versus your boys, which is not very many of you. I mean, Sean O'Hare, rest in peace, but I don't know how he felt about you. If he was one of yours, if he was your protectors, then that would have been probably a problem, because that dude was a kickboxer, MMA fighter. Like that dude was a bad dude. But I always liked Sean O'Hare. He was. I watched him in WWE from 2003, and then when he left. But I liked him in OVW because he was a big dude, 6'7", and could do all the high flying and all the martial arts stuff in the ring. And he never lost a singles match in WWE when he was there on SmackDown. He was undefeated. Well, he wasn't in OVW, but he was in WWE. But O'Hare was a very hard worker. He should have been more recognized. Him and Test. Test was another good one I really like. I miss Lance Cade a lot too. I really liked him a lot. He's a big guy too, 6'5". Yeah, he's one of Shawn Michaels' students, best students. One of his best students, I'm pretty sure. I think he was. I think he would have been a big name in the WWE if he hadn't, you know, unfortunately passed away. He would have been a big name, I'm sure. But yeah, there are a lot of guys in the business that unfortunately didn't get the opportunities because unforeseen consequences and unfortunate events, personal lives got in the way and shattered them, and then they got hooked on a lot of stuff that they probably could they wasn't even their fault, because in the business you have to be pilled up to be able to work, because if you don't then you can't work. That's what I've heard. So yeah, that those pills, you really get hooked really quick, and you can't get you. It's very extremely difficult to get unhooked. So there's a couple of guys I'm surprised are still living right now that were were hooked on it so bad. You know, guys like Jake the Snake, he's still with us, thank God. But there's plenty of other guys that weren't, that aren't. But I'm just glad that Jake Roberts is still here. But I heard he's doing better. Besides his little incident with Davey Boy Smith Jr., shouldn't have said anything about British Bulldog. Man, that guy's a legend. I can't believe you crapped on him. I mean, whatever your personal issues were with him, man, his boy will fight for his dad. And you learned that. Yeah. I saw the video on Hannibal TV. Learned your lesson. Don't talk crap about the dead. But I always respected Jake. But Davey Boy Smith Jr., I'm on his side. 100% on that. Like, he was protecting his father's legacy, protecting his father. Good for him.